I'm really excited today because this is going to be a vocabulary video, and vocabulary is exciting for many, many reasons. However, this is not going to be a long introduction. Let's get stuck straight into it. So here are 6 words that you can add to your vocabulary to improve the way you sound in the workplace. Prerequisite. Now, this is a difficult one to pronounce. However, it actually has a very simple meaning. So pre means before, and requisite comes from the word required. It means something is required before something else can happen or can take action. So how can we use that in an example sentence or within the workplace? Well, here are some examples for you. Having a 6.5 IELTS score is a prerequisite for this position, meaning in order to apply for this position, you must have an IELTS score of 6.5 or above in order to be eligible, in order to be considered a candidate for this position. Having public support is a prerequisite for the success of this project, meaning this project will not be successful unless we have public support before we launch the project. The course states that having IT knowledge is a prerequisite. So how can someone without this knowledge be accepted onto the course? You have figured it out by now, but that means you must have IT knowledge before attending the course. So instead of saying you need this or you must have this in the workplace, or you're supposed to have a certain skill, try saying prerequisite. Tedious. Tedious means the same as boring. It is repetitive. It is boring. It is something that repeats itself again and again. It takes a long time and is the same task. However, boring focuses more on your feelings towards the action. So I find this boring. I think this is boring. Whereas tedious focuses on the task itself being boring. This is a tedious task. The task is boring or repetitive. So next time you're discussing your work with a friend or a colleague, instead of saying something is boring, try saying, this part of the project is so tedious. I love my job, but some aspects are very tedious. Could you help me out with this section? I find it very tedious. Not only is this difficult to pronounce, it's very difficult to spell. Bureaucracy. Bureaucracy. Now, bureaucracy just means the people or groups in charge of an organization or company, and also refers to the rules and policies, laws and regulations put in place in order for that company or organization to run. So by its official meaning, it's not a negative word. It's just the name of how an organization is run. However, we often use it in a negative way. For example, I am tired of dealing with the bureaucracy in this company. Meaning the heads or leads or rules or people at the top are frustrating. We need to avoid creating another level of bureaucracy. Meaning we don't want to add even more rules and regulations on top of the ones we already have. We don't want to make it more complicated than it already is. So when you are referring to your company's rules or leaders in a negative way, try using the word bureaucracy. Only if it fits though. Of course, if your company is perfect and you love everything about it, you don't need to use the word bureaucracy, as we usually use it in a negative way. Stipulates. Stipulates is a fantastic word as it just means how something should be done, how it must be done. So instead of saying it must be, you can say it stipulates. However, we use it in a slightly different way to must, because you can tell someone they must do something. But stipulates refers to rules or regulations or laws. So, for example, the law in the UK stipulates that anyone under the age of 16 must not be driving a car. The product book stipulates that all products must be sold in groups of 3. The client stipulates that this must be kept quiet and finished by Friday. So it means must. There is something written or something has been told, meaning you must do it this way or you cannot do it another way. So try using stipulates. The law stipulates. The driving manual stipulates. Grievance is one that I hope you don't have to use. However, if you are the manager or owner or work in HR, you may come across this word. So a grievance outside the workplace, to feel grievous or to have a grievance, just means to feel frustrated or wronged by someone else. You feel a situation is wrong or unfair. However, in the workplace, when we talk about a grievance, this is a formal complaint about someone's behaviors or actions. So to file a grievance in the workplace means you are reporting someone else as acting unfairly or their behavior is wrong or unprofessional. I have filed a grievance against the manager for how they handled that situation. My manager filed a grievance against me because I called in sick when I was not. Again, I hope you don't come across this one because it's an unpleasant situation to have a grievance filed against you or to have to deal with a grievance. But it's a good one to know when you're working in a corporate or professional environment. And the final one today, nepotism. So nepotism refers to someone who is in a high or good position, but not because of their hard work, but because of their link to or connection to someone else in a high or good position. So for example, the child of a famous actor. Yes, they may have worked hard to also become an actor, but it definitely helps that their parent had connections to producers and directors in Hollywood. They got to where they are because of their connections through someone else in that industry that is usually related to them. In the workplace, you may say, he has only reached that position because of nepotism, meaning maybe his father or his mother is the owner of the company and they hired him as the CEO. She is using nepotism to get where she wants to be, as she is the daughter of the company founder. So again, it doesn't mean they don't work hard, but it means they wouldn't be in that position if they didn't have a connection to the company founder or owner. To be honest, most rich, successful people these days have only got there because of nepotism. It's very rare to see someone start at the very bottom and be one of the most successful people in their field, but that's a topic for a different day. If you learned something new today, don't forget to like and subscribe. Let me know in the comments if you've ever come across these words in the workplace. Are there any tedious parts of your work? Do you know anyone who has used nepotism to get to where they want to be? Do you work in a company that is bureaucratic or has a lot of bureaucracy? Let me know in the comments. I'm looking forward to hearing from you, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Have a fantastic week. Goodbye.